got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're with my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
All right, y'all, we're here. We're live. It's Friday, 5th day in a row. It's been a marathon week of podcasts, but tonight going to be a fun-ass show. Look, guys, you know where you can catch us at: Facebook, YouTube, the X, most importantly, Genesis TV. Thursday night, 10 p.m. I know the show didn't air last night. There was some little hiccup, but it's going to air tomorrow sometime, and then it'll be right back to Thursday night, 10 p.m. Central Time, every single Thursday night. And speaking of anybody out there, any of you promoters, anybody that's got any shows, podcasts, products, or businesses you want to get out there on the TV world, holler at me, Buster H.R. Johnson. Man, I get you the most affordable time slots with Genesis TV and advertising time you're going to find anywhere. All you got to do is hit Buster H.R. Johnson, hit me in my inbox, and I'll get you all the details and we can make it happen. Look, guys, tonight's the night. I'm going to have fun tonight. I got a dude here on tonight that I've been intrigued by since the very first time I saw him. Something drawed me to this guy here. I don't know what it is, but this is going to be a fun night, man. He's not just a wrestler. He's also an owner. He's the guy behind YWA, your wrestling association. They got a huge show coming up this Sunday, Henderson, Tennessee, at the Chester County Middle School Gym. That's a show you don't want to miss, and we're going to get into it. But I tell you what, before I introduce this cat, let's take a look at his latest video, his latest promo. He had a few words for John.
Surely, you've heard the saying, the one who flew over the cuckoo nest, right? Well, April 14th, I'm flying into that cuckoo nest, and I'm dragging you with me, John. Because I can't hold it against you what you did to me. That's just business. But in this business, everything revolves around timing. Time spent away from family and time off due to injury. And you might think that's the theme of what's going on here, but it's not. The theme of what me and you have is the matter of time. The matter of time it took you to believe that it was right to stab your mentor in the back that taught you everything. And the time that you thought it was perfect to leave my shadow. See, what you haven't figured out, it's all about the matter of time for you to get back in that referee shirt like you were before I plucked you from obscurity. Because I got all the time in the world. Kids coming.
All right, y'all, you seen it right there. Let me tell you something. In my opinion, this guy is one of the very best talents around our area. I feel like he is criminally underrated. He is an awesome fucking talent in the wrestling ring. He's got a hell of a cool persona. He's dangerous. That's what I really like about him. You can see he's always got that yellow, man. He's like a big giant caution light just blinking. Danger, danger, danger. Guys, without any further ado, I bring to you CcK, the Car Crash Kid. Kid.
That's the best introduction I've ever got, Buster. I appreciate that.
Man, dude, like I said from the get-go, man, I've been intrigued with you since the first time I saw you, man. I don't know what it was. I don't know whether it was the look or what. Let's just start right there, man, because this is what I got to know. Before we start learning about CcK, who you are, how you got in the business, let's talk about the whole persona, the whole gimmick. Car Crash Kid, I love that, man. That is, dude, that's one of the first things that drawed my attention. But then, like I said, you're always wearing yellow, man. And to me, that screams caution, danger, do not fuck with. So let me ask you, was that a conscious decision for you to be wearing the yellow, be the Car Crash Kid, or did it just kind of happen that way?
Yeah, no, I'd always liked the color yellow. And the funny thing is, I've had this name since I was 12. So me and my brother started backyard wrestling, and I was 15, and my grandpa was teaching me to drive. So I was driving his little beat up cars around his mechanic shop out to the front yard like Eddie Guerrero, the redneck white trash version. And 16th birthday, he gifted me with a yellow Mustang that I still have today. And so I had to get all yellow everything because I'd always wanted yellow everything, but for some reason, all the tights I could find were red and black. So it's very hard to find yellow stuff. That's why I'm still rocking the E Lucha yellow gear that I found years ago. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be sticking with the black and yellow probably forever.
I love it, dude. Like I said, it's like caution tape. Yeah. When I seen it and in the name, man, dude, I was intrigued the minute I seen you on a poster or whatever, and then I seen you live a couple years ago at TIWF. I think it was one of the fair shows. And dude, I was highly impressed, man. So look, let's go all the way back then. Take me back to, like you just said, you was running around the junkyard, the garage, playing in the little cars and everything. So take me all the way back to there and take me back to little CcK and tell me a little bit about him and then how he discovered pro wrestling and how we ended up here, dude.
Well, little CcK got pissed off at his brother one day who lost the remote to the bedroom TV. So I had to manually change channels, and I came across this title that was in all caps, and I'm like, what the hell is this? The only one in all caps, and it was Friday Night SmackDown. And I can't find this segment anywhere, so I don't know if I dreamed it, but I remember it just like yesterday. It was King Booker working somebody that I believe was a jobber that night, and Bobby Lashley came out and sat on his throne, and Queen Sharmell lost her mind. And I remember watching it thinking, okay, this is another sport. All of us, we were all boys. We all played every sport. So I just thought I was watching more sports.
Right.
And then the wrestlers spilled out to the floor. And I'm like, okay, the match has got to be over. This is lightning in a bottle. I've never seen this. And then they go through the announce table. And I'm like, okay, this is very different. So I was hooked from that point on. And as a kid, my first name, because we've all had those, my first name went from Lucky 7 to the mixture of my two favorite wrestlers at the time. So it came out to be Sean Hardy. You can use your imagination. And then I watched a Monday Night Raw show from the 90s between Bret Hart and the 1-2-3 Kid. And it was that match that inspired the name at 12 years old, because I knew I wanted an underdog persona from a very young age, and the having Kid on your name to me was just like a culture. It's not like, a certain culture that you're born with, but it's like an underdog culture that I really loved, and it dates all the way back, in my opinion, to the beginning of characters in wrestling. having kid in their name. So I definitely stuck with that, and I wanted to be hardcore. So my stepbrother, I'm going all over the place, Buster. Get prepared
No,
for
dude, you're good, man. You're
my
good, man. I'm
my
enjoying the hell
stepbrother.
out of it.
My stepbrother was actually an independent rapper, as we called him. He recorded on cassettes, and I rode with him, ironically enough, in a Mustang one day through a construction zone. This motherfucker is doing 85 on a one-lane road, driving with his knee, putting a dip in. I'm riding the passenger seat, and he almost smacks a guardrail, and his rapping name at the time was Casper the Kid, because he was white as hell, just like all of us. And the guys he was recording with in Florence, Alabama, called him Casper the Kid. So I said, so when he almost hit that guardrail, I said, "Damn, Casper, they're about to have to call you the car crash kid."
There it is.
There it was.
There it is, man.
Sir.
When you hear it, when it happens like that, dudes, I mean, that's how shit happens. That's how some of the, I'm going to be honest with you. Sean Hardy wasn't going no fucking where. I'm going to be
No
honest with
fucking
you.
where.
No fucking where. You
Nope.
know, but the car crash kid is, man. And that's what I like about it, man. It's catchy. It draws just the name draws your attention. And when you read it, you think, who the fuck is this? So then you immediately want to see who the fuck is the car crash kid. And then when you come out, man, and man, the yellow, man, dude, it is a eye catcher. It immediately draws your attention. You can't help. I mean, you know, most wrestling shows, most wrestlers are in black and some variations of black and dark colors. And here you come, bright as the fucking sun and all this yellow. Remind me of Suzuki colors when I was a kid, the motorcycles, the dirt bikes. Suzuki colors, dude, and the caution tape, man. That's the first thing I thought, man. First thing I thought, the kid in me thought, oh shit, that's Suzuki colors. And then as I kind of got the car crash kid, I thought, it's more like caution tape, man. So which is it, dude? I mean, I mean, you like yellow, but is it kismet that it worked out like that, or did you kind of, was there ever a thought that caution tape, danger, yellow lights mean caution? Was that ever a thought process?
Absolutely. I won't show you or tell you to look up any videos because you'll probably cringe to death. But we go back to the backyard days, and I had caution tape hanging out the back of my blue jeans along with the face paint and all that kind of stuff. But I've used caution tape a lot, but it just wasn't a good aesthetic. You know, it's not like just a ribbon or something. It didn't really flow. So designing these tights, I had like the end of a guardrail. I have that design going down the thighs, and I have the sharp turn road signs as the knee pad covers. And I have the other guardrail designs for the kick pad covers. So that's what I went with there. And then another thing, I have to clear this up. The gloves. Everybody asks me, "Are you fixing to perform surgery or something?" Like all the boys always ask me that, and I'm like, "You motherfuckers have never changed the oil a day in your life, have you?" I was like, "You ever been to a shop and like they use latex gloves? Most mechanics at a shop that have to change oil all day." I was like, "These are oil changing gloves." Plus, at the time, this is my first job where I got the idea. Ironically enough, the Car Crash Kid's first job was at an automotive parts store. I won't say their name because they're not paying me to, but I wore green. And I was, you know how the boys are, bumming your fucking wrist tape off of you every single week, and you run out faster than anything else in your bag. And I was like, I'm tired of this wrist tape. It's just not working for me. I'm tired of having to stop and get some every single time I got to go to the show. So I look under the counter, and there's like 100 pack of these black latex gloves, and I tried them out, and I've stuck with them ever since.
They fit like a glove, didn't they?
Absolutely. I love making everybody makes the prostate jokes, you know, in the back. You sneak up behind somebody with bent over, it has to happen. It's just,
dude, look, I was headed right there because, you know, you say you draw the analogy of the oil changing. I'll be honest with you, when I first seen you with them, the first thing popped in my mind was, oh shit, proctology class, man. I did, dude. That's the first thing I thought, man. Oh shit, we're gonna get some prostate exams around
Yep.
here. But I love it, dude. I think the gloves. I think it makes the color scheme completely come together for me. The
I
black,
appreciate it.
I do, man. It works. Like I said, I love the look, man. I love the look. So, talk to me about how you actually got into this business, man. Who trains you? How you got trained, or just how you got in? Period, man.
Well, this is go ahead.
Okay, let me get this. The Tennessee Mafia is with us. They said, great kid and an awesome worker. Talking about you, man. Tennessee Mafia, I appreciate y'all watching, man. Appreciate you guys' support.
Appreciate it.
So, yeah, man, take me on into how you got into this business, dude.
Well, from age, I've told you about the obsession, and the reason I personally cannot knock backyard wrestling is because from age 12 to 18, that's what I was doing. And because of that, I met two kids that moved here from California who started doing that with me, who happened to be cousins with professional wrestler Austin Carrier.
Ah.
This was like 2014, I want to say. And they saw that I was serious about it. And all the wrestling in my area is 2 hours away, all the way around. There's no pro wrestling here. I mean, I don't know why. Even Burt Prentice booked Viscera versus Wildfire in a main event, and there was 35 people there. And
right. Some
so,
towns are just like that, man. There's some places
yeah.
that just ain't wrestling towns, man.
Yeah, but they hooked me up with Austin Carrier and told me about the SPW in Bethel Springs. So I went down there, and I thanked Austin for hooking me up with it. Nervous as hell. Walk in there. My granny drove me because I didn't even have a car at that. I was young. And me and my granny walk in there, and there was nothing set up in the building. And this was like noon. And I'm thinking we're in the wrong place. And then the first wrestler I met in there was Mick Vicious. And I told him what I was there for. And he later then hooked me up with Psycho Butcher Andrew Palmer, who I love to death, and Corey Daniels, Matt Taylor. I'm going to damn forget somebody. Sean, that I cannot think of the last name. I'm sorry, Sean. He did the most work with me.
Not Sean Hardy, though. We ain't thinking
it wasn't Sean Hardy. No, he died. But then I went through a tribulation of just SPW shut down, so my training halted, and then Top Notch Pro Wrestling, ran by Jay Money, opened up, and my training continued, and then they shut down, and then I'm trying to think of the next one that was in there. PWR. PWR opened up in there, and Coco was helping me finally like get trained and finish there. And all the time I was working security, I'd get there and I'd set up the ring with nobody but my best friend, rest his soul, John Baker, referee John Baker, and his brother Tommy. We'd be like the only people setting stuff up most of the time. We'd set that up. I'd work security. And then at the end of the show, we'd take it down. I'd dust mop, and then I'd mop the building, and then I'd get home at about 1 o'clock in the morning and just could not wait to do it again at the next show. And then PWR shut down, and the guy I worked with at this automotive store just so happened to know Mr. TNT Shane Morton in Lewisburg with his nephews, David Morton and I believe Austin Morton. I'm terrible with names. Y'all forgive me later. But I got in there with Shane, and I had to, like, Shane showed me that I had to relearn how to apply a headlock.
Right.
I was like, holy shit, am I bad after 2 years of training? Headlock, lockups. We were doing roll drills for the first time. I'd never been shown running the ropes. I mean, blew me up. But David Morton is still to this day the most underrated chain wrestler I've ever met in my life. He made me fall in love with chain wrestling. Before, I was like every other greenhorn. I wanted to come in and do attitude era shit, throw people through tables and just be awesome in that regard. But he made me fall in love with chain wrestling and start studying it because he had a reversal for anything and he could teach me a reversal for anything.
Right, I'm a
And
big fan of that too, dude. Man, believe it or not, I'm a big guy, and all my whole time wrestling, everybody wants you to do big guy shit, but I like wrestling. I do,
yeah,
man. I like wrestling, man. I love chain wrestling. That's why I like the British style. I like
oh yeah,
their style of wrestling, dude, and I'm with you on that, man.
oh yeah. I study it all the time. British Bulldog and Owen Hart in Germany to declare the first European champion. I mean, I think that's the greatest match of all time. Even
Right.
on the, it was like on a grainy film, but I try to utilize one of those moves in every single one of my matches.
So you're
But yeah,
figuring out that you got to you put 2 years in, and you're figuring out now that you got to kind of relearn from scratch almost. And here's the thing,
yep,
man. Look, some of the best fucking wrestlers in the world started as backyard wrestlers.
that's
I
true.
know in the wrestling business we always throw that term around, but look, the Hardys, both of them, backyard wrestlers.
hmm
Shannon Moore, backyard wrestler. Gregory
Seth
Helms,
Rollins, yeah,
backyard wrestler. They all started that way. It's the guys who, it ain't the guys who start that way. It's the guys who never want to go from there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
They get in, and they, when it comes time to really learn the professional way, you got two different categories, dude. So talk to me about that. You're realizing it kind of. And here's one thing I do like, man. You're paying your dues,
I
setting up the
appreciate it.
rings, taking the rings down, mopping the floors and shit. I believe that's how all wrestlers should really start. You
Yeah, and
should
I
start doing everything from the beginning, man.
yeah, and I really just don't understand that. I was doing that. I was setting up the ring, tearing down the ring, all that I just said, and then when I started wrestling at TIWF, I'm driving 2.5 hours every weekend that I'm there to go down there, and 2.5 hours back home. And I can't tell you how many times I should have wrecked because I would fall asleep at the wheel. And I just thought this was how it was. And
Right,
I cannot fathom enough how bizarre it is to me owning a show that travels and you have to set up and tear down in order to get in and get the hell out of the building. That, I get the young guys and I even get vets that come in and have always wrestled in a building where the ring stayed set up,
right,
and they have no idea that they should do this or why we do this, or just a number of people that feel like they don't have to pay dues, or they come up with a bullshit excuse and they leave before it's time to tear down. That's really
right.
frustrating. And that's something that, if that's something I won't be tolerating, or any of us will be tolerating moving forward.
Hey,
I don't think any
you,
of us should.
you keep those POs until after the rings on the trailer, man. You'll
Yeah.
see guys starting to hang out. Uh,
You'll see guys starting to cancel if I said I was going to do that this Sunday too, Buster.
yeah, they'll definitely do that, man. It's a different world now. I'm 100% with you on that. It's a lot of things that guy, and look, I sound like an old guy, but I broke in the early '90s.
No,
You know,
I relate. I relate definitely. Like, don't your Facebook post about how passionate you are about this business doesn't mean fuck all. If you can't set up a ring, tear down a ring, you can't take 30 seconds out of a month's time to send me a promo, you can't have an official looking promo picture, and you're not fine with working off the door for a company that's building up. You don't love
right,
this business. You love what you're going to get from this business. If that's your answer, I just can't
right.
stand that shit.
So talk to me about you're getting retrained now. Talk to me about from that point to your first actual match, man.
Uh, my first match was I left I left the training with Shane Morton, and PWR was opening back up. John Baker actually gave me the call to come back. He was a referee, and he needed somebody working security, and I was just getting healed up. I had this huge, like 2-inch thick and wide abscess on my lower abdomen that had to get cut out. So I had a 2-inch deep hole in my lower abdomen, and I had just gauze in it and taped up. And I was training like that and working security like that and doing all that. And once it healed up, Coco asked me if I had any gear. And of course I did. I'd bought professional gear at that time. And my first match was in Bethel Springs Community Center in a fatal 4-way against Brandon White, Hollywood, and Maurice. I think that was his full name. I cannot remember his last one, but it's like Maurice Money or something. But he was a great worker too. So my first match was a fatal 4-way, which I had pitched to Coco, and I should have just been kicked in the nuts for being such a greenhorn and making such an assumption.
Should have been in a singles match. Should have been in a little short singles match, man. Let's get this shit done, man.
It was originally going to be a triple threat, and I was like, triple threats are tricky because I knew even then, it's about just eliminating one person, keeping somebody out of the way. And I was like, what if we just make it a fatal 4-way? So I got somebody to work, and the other guys got somebody to work the whole time. And I came out that curtain in Bethel Springs in front of like 30 people, way too fucking hyped on adrenaline. I mean, you would have thought I was at Wembley. I came out way too hyped. I did like a missile drop kick to the floor, and I was feeling myself that. And I was like, I don't care if I ever wrestle again. I got to have a damn professional wrestling match. And after 2.5 years of wondering if I was ever going to break into this business, just having that first match, I was like, I could die happy. I'll never forget that feeling.
I don't think people realize that, man. Man, that was especially that first match, man. Dude, that's like your very first WrestleMania, man. I mean, it all culminates and starts right there, dude. So talk to me about this match. How'd this match end up playing out in the end?
Well, I think Brandon White gave Maurice a package pile driver for the finish, and Maurice was the guy that I missile drop kicked out on the floor, and Jade Haven was actually sitting front row there, and I think the video's on YouTube, and she like screamed like, Jesus, you're doing this right at our feet. There was like no security, like, because I was making my debut. I was the security. And so me making my debut meant this show didn't have security anymore. And so that was crazy. And working in there with Ellie Hood and Brandon White. I mean, that was a real pleasure. It was just a totally different like language being in there in the moment. And I trusted especially Brandon White at that time. He, for some reason, the moment he met me, took me under his wing. And so, yeah, he really took care of me, and he said, just listen. And for like the first 1.5 years of my career or longer, I was constantly complimented on how well I listened. And I thought that was weird too. I'm like, isn't that what I'm supposed to do? Aren't I supposed to be listening to you? But
it don't always work that way, though.
Yeah, apparently that was a rarity. So every vet started wanting to work me because they would compliment me like, hey, this kid listens. Like, I might not be a spot monkey. I might not be able to do destroyers and all that kind of stuff, but I will listen,
Well,
and
here's the thing. If somebody don't take the time, somebody that's got experience, more experience than you, and they're going to take the time to talk to you and maybe help you out, give you some pointers or some ideas or something, I mean, listen to them. It can't hurt. I mean, you don't have to take the advice, but at least listen to it, and and if it's something you feel, then maybe put it into practice. And dude, I feel that because just since I've been back in the business doing this, I've had times where I've offered some advice to people, and they're like, they just blow it off, and I'm like, okay. And eventually you get where, well, I ain't going to waste any advice on that one no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The ones who listen, help them. The ones who don't, let them learn the hard way.
Yeah,
That's kind of the way
that's all
I
you
feel
can
about
do.
it, because a lot of times people don't want to accept advice. They know it all already.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine being like 2 years into my wrestling career and not listening to a vet. Not, once you figure out that there is a learning tree to sit under in every locker room,
Right.
then you need to go sit under that learning tree. And that's what you need to look for. If you're just shooting the shit with the boys and shooting the shit with your friends and not learning anything, then you're not going to get any better. And I was told from the moment I went to Trenton, if you want to ever be in the main event, you stay and you watch the main event. You learn how to be in the main event. And I'm still dealing with it today. Wrestlers that don't show up, and I see this at other shows too. They're like, "Well, I'm not in any storylines." Well, it's because you don't show up.
Right.
It's not. I'm not going to show up because I'm not in any storylines. It's you're not in any fucking storylines because you're not showing up, dipshit.
Right, man. Uh, Here's the
Can't
thing.
stand
I
it.
don't wrestling. Period. Everything about it. We always talk about psychology out in front of the fans, the things we do, the way we try to draw the fans in, but really everything about the pro wrestling business is built on psychology. All the backstage bullshit, truthfully, it's all a big giant fucking game.
Yeah,
That's all it is, man. It's a big giant game, and it's all built on psychology. Everybody's trying to get something. Everybody wants something. Everybody thinks they're a star. In which, here's the thing: I don't think you would want to be a pro wrestler if you already didn't kind of have a little bit of a high opinion of yourself. I mean, that's just the honest truth. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
got to
yeah.
think. Here's the thing: to get in this business and really make a go at it, you got to think you deserve to be there and you belong to be there. I feel
Hmm.
that, but man, it's a different game than it was when I broke in. And like I said, there wasn't much kayfabe left when I broke in. It was still existed, and we still had to hold it up for several more years, but it was already dying. It was already going south, man. And like you said, I mean, how can I put you in a storyline if you ain't here? If you ain't in my face, and I know you're gonna be here and you're reliable, what? How can I even think about doing anything with you?
Yeah, exactly. It's a very common problem. I don't understand that, but yeah, if you're not gonna if you're not gonna give the Sunday show the same energy you give the Saturday show that offers you TV time, then don't take the booking. Don't take the
Right,
booking at the Sunday show. And if you're not enthused about it, don't take the fucking booking.
right. Well, look, man. Since we're talking about bookings and all this stuff, dealing with shows and promoting and stuff, I'm IWA. That's your baby, man.
Yeah.
Talk to me about deciding to create the YWA, man. What brought it on, and talk to me about the name. It's different, man. Talk to me about it.
Well, I have to give credit where credit's due. When the pandemic started, I was contacted by shout out to Cody Smith, my buddy, and he contacted me and said, "Hey, at this time, all wrestling shows were shut down.
Right,
We couldn't gather." And what's crazy is that I was gearing up to come back to wrestling. It was one of those things. Oh, he's got a new girlfriend. He wants. She's never seen him wrestle, so I wanted to take Erica to some wrestling shows and show her how bad I was.
right,
So I got contacted by Cody Smith, aka Bronson Riddick. He said, "Come to Adamsville. Me and some buddies are doing this backyard wrestling." And I was like, "Well, send me a link. Let me look it up." I was like, "I need to knock the rust off." And to me, I was like, "Good. This is perfect. I'll get to knock the rust off, work on some moves that I don't know will fit me, and nobody will see it." Nobody was
right,
watching this show at the time. They had, it was like a neighborhood thing. And when I got there, I met the Roos boys. I met who you know now is Clayton Cross, Luke
okay,
Boswell, Bubba Bass. I have to mention his name. Berserker, Abraxas, Arcane, wrestlers you probably still have not ever heard of because as soon as everything opened back up, everything got lost in the wash. And I went there and was scared to fucking death because I did not know how much training these guys had or anything.
Right.
But when I come in, they were all fairly decent. I mean, I'd honestly seen pro wrestlers make it that were not as good as these kids, and they don't get enough credit about how good of people they were, um, and still are. Um, I went in there with the Roos boys, and I took a clothesline over the top rope. My shoulder popped out of place. That happens about every 2 or 3 matches. I have a bad rotator cuff, and I came in on the 3rd episode, and by the 5th episode, I got there, and Skittles was there, Corey Daniels was there, and a guy that I've never met and never seen again named O'Malley was there, who I really loved his look. But Corey was like watching on the porch, standing next to me, out of the way of the camera and the fans, and he was kind of like, what do you know about these guys? I mean, he was friends with a lot of them, but he was talking about skill wise.
Right.
I'd seen him work. That was his first time there. And I was like, dude, I was like, I know how it looks, but this is the perfect place to be right now if you want to wrestle at all. And these guys show a lot of potential. And I've been teaching them the basics because at that time I was only comfortable teaching people the basics. So then Corey Daniels came in, and me and him started training these guys together, and it is still to this day just the most fun I've had in this entire career. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about these kids have never been to another locker room, so they don't know that they're supposed to stab us in the back. I mean,
Right.
these are just great non-political people, hunkered up in a car garage, either sweating our asses off or freezing to death because it's all outside, and then making an entrance out there, and I felt like it did wonders for not just me but everybody's mental health during the pandemic, because that was a big thing. Nobody had shit to do. The
Right.
neighborhood didn't have anything to do, so the neighborhood started organically piling in just by word of mouth. We weren't making flyers. We weren't trying to hit it big or anything. We were just doing this, and we've made a lot of great memories doing that. We did that for 2 years, and when then things started opening back up, we were looking for a building because we had no intentions of staying in a backyard.
Right.
And we were looking for a building. We finally found Selmer, uh, the community center, which we believed that nobody else was running. We didn't know that 2 other companies were running there at the time, or we wouldn't have touched it. And so we go to run there, and at that time it was called the Boswell Wrestling Association, and so it was the whole Boswell family pretty much, and the bookings were solely on me because Corey had went to the Navy. So when Corey went to the Navy, by like I think the 10th or 11th episode, everything got put on me because I was then the most experienced person there. And I
Right.
trained everyone there aside from Clayton Cross and Luke Boswell, who were already trained when I got there. And so then we go to Selmer, and I'd had a conversation with Luke um, about getting, I don't remember how it happened exactly, but I asked him for 100% control of BWA. And of course, my name's not Boswell, so I had to take that off of there. And I just made it Your Wrestling Association. Like, I want it to cater to the fans like every wrestling show does, but I want it to cater to the wrestlers. I want it to cater to, not to knock any generation whatsoever, but I feel like there is not a light shed on my generation that grew up on SmackDown versus Raw 2006 and 7, and falling in love with that era where you'd turn on Raw and you saw DX and Great Khali and the Boogeyman and Hornswoggle. I wanted that 2005 to 2007 kind of feel around the show. I wanted Limp Bizkit. I wanted non-point playing. I wanted that kind of stuff. I wanted to have that feel, and everybody was getting on board with that. So we started at the Selmer Community Center, and then we also wanted to travel. Um, So we hit up a bunch of towns that we wanted to go to towns where nobody had ran before, and that was a blessing, but it was also kind of a curse.
Right.
I
It's
would
a
love to,
crapshoot.
yeah, because you don't know what you're going to get. You can't go off of, well, so and so was here last year, and let's look at his crowd numbers or anything like that. So we went to a
I,
bunch of towns where nobody's ever ran. Go ahead, Buster.
I'll be honest with you.
Mm,
I like those towns because here's the thing. I like the towns who have no palate for wrestling whatsoever. Look,
hmm.
it's good to go in those towns that's already had wrestling. You know you can go in there if you promote right. More than likely you're going to draw a decent little crowd. But
Yeah,
I like towns that have never had wrestling before, or if so, hardly ever, because that's your opportunity as a owner, as a running shows, and as a creator, because that's what a booker is. It ain't just making matches. A booker's a creator. Well, you
right.
have a blank canvas when you walk into a town like that, and it's a crapshoot still. Here's the thing: you can educate those people the way you want educated from the start, or you could go in there and run a few shows, and if you don't start getting people, then cut bait and move on to another town. But I love that crapshoot, man, because it
Hmm.
gives you the opportunity to. Wrestling fans have to be educated. That's the
Right.
thing. They have to be educated, especially unfamiliar wrestling fans that are not really wrestling fans. You go into their town, you got to educate them to what they're seeing. You got to educate them to who
Yeah.
everybody is, why all this is happening, why this one's mad at this one. But once you do that, man, Osceola, Arkansas is a perfect example. It
Yeah.
had wrestling on and off for years, but when Moondog went in there permanently in about 1994, he
Hmm.
educated those fans, and it's still running today. It's still running today off of the foundation he laid. And you're talking, like you said, talking about foundations earlier. That's where it all starts at, training and everything, dude. And I love the YWA. Here's the one thing I feel about it. When you watch it, I love it because you can tell it's a young company. It's not
Yeah.
trying to. I don't feel like you guys are really trying to be any certain thing right now. I feel like y'all are out there and you're finding your footing, man. You got all this
Right.
young talent, man. Let them go out there and get their experience. I love the whole concept of it. Now that I kind of understand the Your Wrestling Association, I like it even more, dude. So you're
I appreciate it.
starting to branch out and run some shows, man. Let's go back to those towns that don't really draw, man.
Yeah, the towns that don't really draw. It also kind of hurts because we've always ran on Sundays, and that's so that we have the pick of the litter. Any wrestler that wants a 3 day weekend, they can hit us up, and they can come wrestle with us on Sundays.
Yeah, I
Um,
was going to ask you about that because that was curious to me too. Why
that's the
y'all
only.
always run on Sundays?
Yeah, I hate it. To be honest, I hate it. Uh, Getting up for work Monday morning fucking sucks.
Right.
Uh, you know, during NFL season, it sucks. Everybody just, fan wise and wrestler wise, I want to be at home and watch the Titans game too, but we
Right.
have a wrestling show to run. If we're running monthly, like it's fine, but running weekly, like we just previously did in Bethel Springs, it was like every single Sunday. And I remember telling everyone to know who I'm talking about. I remember telling Pawpaw that I would. It was shit was falling apart one week, and I said, you know what? I said I'd rather be at home with you watching Hogan's Heroes right now in your living room than to be here dealing with this. But no, we ran some show uh, where in a town that had never had wrestling. It was fantastic. There, I mean, not as far as the draw. The draw was kind of mediocre. I think 50, 50 was the count. 50 paid or something like that. It's been so long, and they had never had wrestling there, and you could tell because nobody had come through and ruined shit for the other companies yet.
Right.
You find that a lot. I mean, every sponsor that could afford to help us sponsor the show did it, and they did it nice, like we were doing them a favor. And I'm like, you guys, we're really the first company to ever reach out to you. And the radio station put us over, And we get in that building, and we had Sinister Minister August Givens there. We had our regular guys like DJ Fury.
My guy.
Who, yeah, we even had Brandon Watley there. We had Skittles. We had Berserker. We had Bubba and Luke Boswell versus Alex Cross and a mystery opponent who wasn't supposed to be me, but it was me. And I love this building because you could raise the door, and I was like, yeah, I'm driving my fucking yellow Mustang through that door. And so Alex raised the door, and I drove my yellow Mustang through there, and I got out, and we had a tag team match that went all over the place. Alex was bleeding. I don't think I was bleeding. He pulled out some Legos in the ring. We did suplexes on Legos. We did
Them
all kinds
fucking
of crazy
Legos,
stuff.
man.
Well, it's
I
like
can,
we got to show them. I'd much prefer thumbtacks. Honestly, everybody says that, but it's the truth. I'd rather have thumbtacks than them Legos. That sucked.
I ain't never bumped on them, but I've stepped on a few, and them fuckers hurt, man. I'm gonna be honest with
Yeah,
you.
yeah, they suck. I got them all over my house, Hot Wheels and all kinds of stuff with my boys. But
Right.
yeah, I love those towns, but Hohenwald, that was a tough one. Literally, the last Hohenwald show that we were at, there was like 14 people in there, and I think it was because we were running on Sundays. Because I see, we haven't touched it lately, but there's another promotion running in there, and two of them have been after us, and they're drawing great crowds on Friday nights or Saturday nights. But we went in there on Sunday before those two companies, and yeah, like 14 people in there, and I was like, okay, Hohenwald's not the town then.
Well, here's the thing I found out. I've learned through my experience, dude. If you're going to run a Sunday, believe it or not, the prime time is probably between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m.
Yeah, that's what
Because
a lot of people say.
you got your church people that are going to want to get up and go to church, and then they want to have time to go eat after church. Then they
Right.
want to go do something, but a lot of those people go back to church that night. So between 2 and 5 is really I believe is the prime time for Sundays, because I've been on night shows on Sundays that so depending on where you're at and what company's running it.
Right.
2 p.m.'s about the perfect time, man, on a Sunday, dude.
Yeah, like that benefit show kind of time. Yeah, I can totally understand that. We've actually been talking about doing that in the future. We're still, you were talking about our foundation and everything. We're still kind of, we're putting our feelers out there again. We did that in the past, but we're putting the feelers out there again, find out what the fans want, but also at the same time being like, look, this is the limit. Like, this is what's going to separate us from other shows, if anything is possible. Like, we're only going to go so far. We're going to respect every generation of it, every genre of it. I want every genre of pro wrestling on this show, but we're a no sellout kind of promotion. Does that make sense? Like, we're putting the feel like, here's what we are and here's what we want to do. We're going to see if you like it, and we're going to give a little, but we're not going to just stretch and be like everybody else. There's no sense in doing that and opening a promotion saying, I want to be like all the other shows, because there's so much money, Buster, in the professional wrestling business. Don't you know that?
Right, man. Here's the thing. Like I said, I feel like you guys are you're still finding your identity, man. And the more you find your identity, that's when you can really start branding YWA, what it actually is, what you're about. Then you can, once you the more you figure it out, the more solidly you're going to be able to promote it and brand the products you have, dude.
Yeah.
I like it, dude. I think you got something there, man. Here's the thing. I think if you can harness a lot of these young guys, because that's the one thing I like about your company, it's pretty much all young guys. And if you can harness these guys and find the right ones, because there are some super talented young guys out there right now. There's a lot of good talent out there. There's a lot of bad talent out there too, but there's a lot of good talent. And the key is finding who fits y'all. Finding who, because everybody don't fit every company. Every wrestler don't work in every single company. You got to find your home, just like wrestlers have to find their home. You got to find the crew that is family, that works for you and your vision.
Right. I mean, if any of them are listening right now, or if you know anybody that, you know, like we talked about earlier, we'll set up a ring, we'll stay to tear down a ring, we'll work off door money, and we'll send me a 30-second promo to promote the show. I will put them over like gravy. But, you know, it's slim pickings.
Oh
It
yeah,
feels like most of the time.
motherfuckers is leaving right now. They leaving the podcast just because
Yeah.
you said that, man. Brad's like, oh shit, fuck that, I'm out of here.
I told
So-
Erica I was going to be canceled by the time she got back to the house.
Oh man, I don't think so, man. Here's something I think's happening. I think cancel culture is I think it's getting the fuck out of here, man. I
Yeah,
think
pretty
people
much.
sick of that bullshit, man. I know I am. So look, we're talking about cancel culture and wrestling business and YWA and running your own company and owning your own company. So let's get it out of the way, man. Man, if you're a owner, a booker, you're in the fucking heat spot. It's always politics. So talk to me about when you first started this company, did you realize how big of a headache it could actually be?
I mean, I expected it definitely, but you can't believe how so many people, you know, you think they're your close friends and they're not.
That's the wrestling
And
business, dude.
yeah, I mean, it's terrible, but the fact that, all right, I'm going to get some shit off my chest, Buster. And I won't say any names, except maybe one. But for some reason, we had a booker in Bethel Springs and before Bethel Springs who I really wish things would have worked out with. You know, me and him working together. I really believe we could have done something. But to any aspiring promoters that are watching this and they need some advice, don't ever put yourself in a position where you're spending about $1,000 or anywhere close to $1,000 a month to run a wrestling show while your booker isn't paying anything but wants to be the vision, wants to control everything of it. Like, to me, that's the only fun part of it. You know, at 9 years old, I fell in love with wrestling. By about 9.5, when I found out wrestling was the F word, I wanted to find out how the fuck it was.
Right.
And 15 years later, I'm still figuring out how it is. And I fell in love with the creative part of it. I fell in love with the creative part of it. I wanted to find out how to book shows and tell stories with other wrestlers because, in my opinion, like I said, there's no money in wrestling. So if you are honestly wanting to run a promotion, then you have somewhat of a desire to see other people grow and succeed under your promotion. And I honestly do love that. I hate the fact that wrestling has become so toxic for so many people. And honest to God, I just hate being done wrong by people. It's more of a bummer. Like, they didn't have to do that to me just because I wanted say so in the theme of the show and the direction of it, and I didn't want to just hand the books over to somebody. But
well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, if you're the owner and you're the guy footing the bill, and I make a decision that I'm working for you, we may not agree. My vision may be different than yours or slightly different, but at the end of the day, I have to understand that this is the guy. It's his thing. I just work here. It's his vision. It's his money. So he's got the last call. At the end of the day, it's the guy who's footing the bill. He's got the last call.
yeah, I mean, so this happened, and I told this booker that I was going to go a different direction, and I offered him to stay character-wise, to still act like he was running things, but if he wasn't really running things, he didn't want to be there, and so he left. And then wrestlers started canceling really bad because these wrestlers also wrestled with that same booker at the promotion for the night before. This is where it comes in with really good friends that I thought I had. And these wrestlers start canceling, and one of them being our heavyweight champion at the time. And the last person that the champion faced, and I don't believe in putting the belt on myself, but the last person that he faced was me, literally the week before. So the only thing creatively I could think of on the fly a completely impromptu promo led to me carrying the vacant belt out to the stage of the building and telling the people what was going on. I wasn't trying to shoot on anybody. If I was trying to shoot on the previous booker.
Right.
And because, I mean, it was so impromptu, and I started making fun of wrestlers the same way that wrestlers make fun of fans. And he took one insult out of there, ran with it, posted it in the locker room group chat of the other promotion, and everybody saw it.
Mm.
And that really sucks because, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying his name, but he was telling J Rage that I was shooting on him. And at the time, I couldn't get a hold of J Rage. And the fact that I would ever shoot on anybody that didn't do me wrong is ridiculous.
Right.
And I think J Rage knows how much our friendship means to me. At least I hope he does. And his entire family, in my opinion, is the most underrated pro wrestling family in this area. I mean, they're not talked about enough. They're all talented.
J
Even the
Rage, man.
in-laws. I mean,
Hey,
they're crazy. They're
dude,
crazy talented and underrated.
man, he's a hell of a fucking talent in the ring, man. He is,
Oh, yeah.
man. I've watched him a shitload live at TIWF, and he's one of the guys that I feel like if he would be consistent out of the TIWF pond, I believe there's a hell of a lot of potential there with J Rage, man. He's talented, and the fans, he's got the ability. At TIWF, they love him. So I don't even see no use of him trying to be a heel. In my opinion, they love him. And when I've seen him try to be a heel there, they really don't know how to take it. But dude, he's talented in the ring, man. I watched him and Jake Lawless have a match one night that changed my whole I seen the potential in Rage in this match. That hey, what could be? Talented guy, man. Talented guy. The whole family,
absolutely.
like you said.
Yeah, it's crazy, but so he sent that promo to the group chat, and he was telling people, "Oh, kids shooting on you for this," and I'm not going to point out somebody's insecurities or anything like that. And he was trying to turn my guys against me so that they didn't go, and I know this for a fact.
Right.
Because one of those guys was telling me, because I was telling one of the wrestlers that we met in another locker room, and I said, I know good and well that he was the first one awake at probably 5 a.m. when I posted that video, didn't think anything of it, just trying to tell a story to help people understand why their champion wasn't there anymore. And I was the guy he faced last week, so I have to say something. And that dude, that previous booker turned it into a shoot and all this, and guys were leaving and all kinds of bullshit. And this isn't about, to me personally, I want everybody to understand this part. This isn't about YWA. This isn't about, per se, politics or trying to work anybody. This is about me and my name that I told you I had since I was 12. This is about me and my reputation as far as I'm concerned. And I highly respect my colleagues, especially the vets like J Rage and his entire family. And I'm not about to try to disrespect anybody like that. And to be accused of that really sucked. But what I do know for a fact is if anybody that was involved with YWA and that other promotion that has probably been told a few lies about me, I asked one of them, I said, have I ever been the center of drama in any locker room? Have I ever had heat with any fucking body aside from this one moment where I fired a booker who wanted control of what I was paying for? And he's like, no, you haven't. I was like, thank you. And that's what it was. And the reason it's a monkey on my back is because YWA's been gone and I've been gone for over a year. And I'm sure that sends out a message like I've been on the couch, or I'm discouraged, or I couldn't run YWA without this previous booker. And the fact of the matter is, I'm pretty private about this shit, but I got diagnosed with diverticulitis.
Man.
And I have been fighting to, I thought it was a hernia for the first 3 months. I was at EPW and I was telling them what was going on, and I wrapped shit up there. And at doctor visits after doctor visits, I couldn't afford to keep this show going, pay my doctor visits, get swapped on different medications all the time, find out what I could eat, what I couldn't eat. And at the time, just the cherry on top, I was going through a custody battle to get more custody of my two sons, which I
Right.
won, thank the Lord. And just all that shit going on. I didn't want to deal with any more drama, and I didn't have the money to deal with any more drama, even if I wanted to. These
Right.
doctor visits are ridiculous.
Dude, you ain't telling me nothing. Everything nowadays is ridiculous, dude. Everything's just way too expensive. It's stupid, man. So look, let's kind of pause for a second. Talk to me about the diverticulitis, man, and what's going on with it. How bad is it? What are we looking at, dude?
Well, the reason I'm coming back is that I feel like it's under control finally. I feel like, I'm on these probiotics, and a big misconception about it. I never thought I'd be a spokesperson for a bad colon, but here we go. A big misconception about it is that it's caused by eating beef, and it's not. It's caused by tiny little seeds or peanuts that get stuck in a microscopic hole in your lower intestine. And because that happens, you're not supposed to eat beef unless it's grass fed beef.
Ah,
And I'm going to touch on, God always putting me exactly where I need to be, and me truly believing that moving forward. Me and Erica had just moved to a house that was cheaper on her family's property so that we could better afford comfortably to run a wrestling show.
right.
Just so happens at the same time I am diagnosed with this, for hundreds of acres around me are her grandfather's Angus beef cows that are grass fed, which is exactly what we eat. We had the steaks last night. We have the hamburger meat because I can't eat it from the store. I can't
Right.
stop at McDonald's, any fast food place. I can't eat that shit anymore. So yeah,
That's fate,
definitely
man.
definitely men go to the doctor and get that doctor to stick a finger up your butt. You might have cancer.
Hey,
That
you
was
either
on that
got
was
some.
on the table for a little bit, and that's when you get really fucking scary when they start talking about colon cancer.
Right.
So,
My
God,
mom, my mom passed away from stomach cancer, and by the
hmm,
time they figured it out, it was so far gone. Within 3 months, she was gone, dude. I
that's
mean,
terrible.
she went from pretty well, but until she knew she you knew she had some issues, but she was fine. The minute she kind of knew and knew it was terminal, I mean,
Right?
it wasn't no time. It was she was gone, dude, and it's a scary thing, man.
Yeah,
It is, man. In real life, here's the thing. For guys like us, it ain't like we make our living off of wrestling. I mean, we love it. We would love to make our livings off of wrestling, but at the end of the day, when it comes time to do real life shit and life hits you in the face, wrestling's got to take a back seat to it. It's just as simple as that, man.
yeah, yeah. It was really tough, and like I'm still finding new foods that I'm not supposed to eat. And I kept asking Erica, I was like, am I getting fat? Because at this time, I'm still jogging, I'm still doing my cardio, still doing my workouts. And it's like, I just feel like I'm gaining weight, gaining weight. And come to find out, it's because when I eat certain foods, I blow up like a balloon. So, I mean, it's just insane the pain that you go in if you eat like spicy foods, if you eat the wrong kind of beef. It's rough.
Right.
It's really rough.
Well, man, you talking about God, man, and fate, dude. It like you said, man. It is all this stuff's coming down. You end up right in the middle of a bunch of not grain fed, grass fed beef that you can eat, man.
Yeah. I try to look at everything as a blessing. I mean, I think everybody should, but you know, it's just it's crazy how when you're paying attention, everything happens. Like that happens, and then I feel like I feel like you asking me to be on this podcast was like this shit has been on my mind for a year, and you asking me to be on here was like God telling me, okay, you need to get this off your chest because it's been weighing on me real heavy. You know, everything I was just talking about, and but yeah, between that, the diverticulitis, and the drama of YWA that we're a drama free place. I don't care what storyline you're in. If you're the champion or what, we're not going to be putting up with it moving forward.
Right.
And, for anybody that doesn't believe me, any of my colleagues, I have a 17-minute long recorded phone call that I think you need to hear. But I'm not going to be sending it to anybody whose business it's not. So I'm not saying that shit for anybody's entertainment. I'm saying that for me to get that off my name, because I've never done anything but try to do right by everybody. And I hate the fact that when I contact wrestlers, I know they're coming at me timid, not because of who I am, but because so many people have screwed them in the past. I hate that. I hate trying to do business with people that have been screwed, but it's very common, very, very common.
That's the business, man. And here's the thing: you were talking about the toxicity, and you were talking about this thing being put in a chat room. Man, here's the thing: 100%, there is no doubt, and I don't believe anybody can refute it. Social media has made pro wrestling fucking 100 times more toxic than it ever was. Used to in the day, it was rumors and innuendos and stuff. It what you couldn't just say something and put it out there for the whole world to see immediately. And then here's the thing too. You couldn't hide behind the keyboards. You say something about somebody more. If you wrestling regular, you're gonna cross paths. So you either you handle it and you just handle it like men. And nowadays, man, there's no doubt. I don't think anybody can deny that, man. Social media, period, has made pro wrestling so much more toxic, man. It's so much more.
It has, but it's also, I think, boomed the business. I'm shaking my head, yes, like I was around for the invention of, internet. But, I was, but I was too young to remember it really booming. But this whole year I've been off. I didn't even want to fucking look at wrestling, watch wrestling, or nothing until like the past few months when I started falling in love with it for real again. I'm tired of getting on Facebook and seeing dirt sheet radio all over my damn feed. Like, I could care less what anybody at AEW is saying about so-and-so in WWE. That shit, I feel like it rots my brain all the time. I don't care. And Jesus Christ, I don't care what promotion you run in Memphis. I'm sick and tired of hearing about how much fucking more awesome your show is than anybody because of so-and-so's there and what you've accomplished and then this and that. Aren't there like 13 promotions in Memphis by now? It's ridiculous. You guys got your hands full. I'm sorry.
Listen, over a year ago, I actually ranked the companies, some of the companies around here. And man, I went to going through and researching all these companies. Man, there were so fucking many, man. Around in Memphis at that time, I want to say in Memphis, came up with 15 at the time, and then you start all the surrounding areas of Memphis, man. It was ridiculous, dude. It was just, there was like, I quit counting at like 65 companies within probably a 200-mile radius of each other.
Right.
It's just ridiculous, man. It is, dude.
All of them talk about the Coliseum days, which I would love to see rejuvenated, but if all of them could just stop fighting for like at least a year, they could all combine all their POs and rebuild the fucking Coliseum. For as many as there are and as much fighting as they do, why can't they just love each other and build the Coliseum back for the greater of wrestling?
Dude, that is a great young man's dream, man, in the wrestling business. Man, dude, look.
It's a fucking dream, isn't it?
There we go. You back?
All right.
We're back.
I'm back. I didn't know what happened.
All
you froze up on me.
Yeah, dude, it's something with the internet, I guess, man, because it blinked a while ago on us, and that time we both went out again and stayed out. And I was so glad we came back on because I didn't want this interview to end right there because, dude, I've enjoyed the hell out of this conversation, and I figured I would, man. Like I told you from the get-go, from the first day I seen you, man, from the first time I seen your name, it intrigued me. Then when I seen you, you intrigued me more, man. And it took us a while to get here, but I'm like you. I'm a huge believer in timing and fate. From my experience in my life, fate has played a huge role in my life to this point. And I think tonight's the night. Tonight's the night for you. Tonight's the night for me. Tonight's the night for us.
It certainly feels like it. It's been great, Buster. I appreciate you having me on. You popped my podcast cherry, sir.
Well, dude, I think I'm gonna start putting some little notches on my bedpost about the podcast cherries, dude. I think I've probably had at least 3-4 people that's never been on, maybe more.
Yeah.
That's what I do, man. That's what we're here to do, man. Here to put over wrestling as best we fucking can. Here's the thing. I want to be a place where everybody, you're talking about all these companies fighting. And what I was getting at, yeah, it's a nice young man's dream in the wrestling business, man, but never going to happen, dude. This wrestling.
I don't want them to think I was shitting on them because I don't want all 13 Memphis promotions
coming for you.
Yeah. Big fans of all of you or something like that. But no, I'm talking about like social media, getting on that and seeing the toxicity of it. I'm saying the number one toxicity I see, at least in this area, it's always a Memphis promotion. And that sucks. I wish I could get along, but I'm like 3 hours from Memphis, so it's not really my fucking problem. So
you're never gonna recapture those glory days. Move on. Try to create some new glory days is the kind of the way I look at it. You can't keep Memphis wrestling. What is Memphis wrestling? Memphis wrestling was this 30 years ago. Memphis wrestling was this 15 years ago. Memphis wrestling can be this 10 years from now. Guys have just got to change the vision, in my opinion, man. Quit shooting for something that's bygone, man.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I know more than them by any means. I mean, they got bigger balls than I do to run in Memphis with all the competition. But yeah, they just fight a lot. That's all I see. They fight each other a lot.
Right.
I don't get it.
So look, man, let's talk about YWA. I got a graphic and we got a promo from EOG, but let's pull this graphic up and let's talk about this big show you got coming up Sunday. Now, this is your first show in how long?
I want to say exactly a year and 2 weeks. I believe that'd be right.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, man. In the wrestling business, you kind of took a year and eased back. A lot of times, man, you need to do that in this business because you can get burned out and discouraged with this business really easy, dude. It's as simple as that. Sometimes it's good to step back. So, look, you got this card coming up Sunday, man. Tell us a little bit about it, dude.
Well, there's a lot of, like you were talking about, young men on there that are very talented and have good heads on their shoulders. And we got Steel Cross coming in to take on EOG, and that's expected to be a tag team barn burner in and of itself.
Right.
You got myself, of course, I had to put the yellow on the flyer. And you got Henderson's own Max Mayhem up there at the top. And you got Rob Danger right there above Ethan Steele's head. And to confirm this match officially, if the flyer doesn't give it away, you have Knockout King Coco Anderson going up against DJ Fury for the vacated YWA World Championship. So we'll be set.
Right there. That's a hell of a match, dude.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have a new YWA champion by the end of the night. And, of course, keeping to his sinister ways, there's August Givens. And then there's another original up top, and that would be Skittles. And you got to love you some Justin Klein and some Brandon Savage, wherever they go, son.
Dude, they're going to piss people off. I can tell you that. If you won't get heat, Justin Klein, get some heat, dude. He's a fucking heat magnet, man.
Legendary.
And so, look, let's talk about Steel Cross and EOG a minute, man. Man, Steel Cross, one of the top. I don't think there's no denying the fact over the past year and a few months, give or take a few months here and there, these guys have been all over our territory. They have been making a huge name for themselves, man. Here's the thing. A year and a half ago, they was a Trenton, Tennessee team. No, they're all over our territory. Everybody that's a fan of wrestling around our whole area knows the name Steel Cross now.
Yeah, and I'm not taking credit for any of that when I say this by any means, but when I went to EPW, I fell in love with EPW, and I worked on Alex and Ethan a lot, being like, when they would come to YWA in Bethel Springs, they would ask me what EPW was like, and I was like, dude, y'all got to come. I was like, I'm not trying to tell you to leave Trenton whatsoever. I was like, you're your own, we're subcontractors. We're independent subcontractors in this business. Like, wherever you want to go, if you need to go somewhere, you need to go to EPW. And they went to EPW, and now they're at Memphis Wrestling. I'm going to forget a million promotions. They've been everywhere. I mean,
I think they're in Far City tonight for Southern Extreme Wrestling, maybe. Yeah. They're everywhere, dude. And
everywhere.
Dude, I love EPW. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Truthfully, it's my favorite local television wrestling product.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of all wrestling, from the corniest to whatever. If you can make it make sense to me, I can buy into it. But I love EPW. I love their presentation. I just love the style of wrestling that they put out, their product, man. Awesome place, dude.
Absolutely. They're killing it at EPW. I mean, when I went there, I was contacted to come on TV there, and I remember thinking every single TV taping, I was like, well, this is probably my last time here, including the first one. I literally thought I was just there to do something with Trace Hunt and be gone forever. But they kept me for over a year, and the catering there is just unparalleled to any other promotion I've worked for anywhere ever. I mean, they got their shit together. If they could put that on TV, they should. They should say, EPW, we have our shit together.
And they're growing too, man. They're growing fast, man.
Oh yeah.
They're getting bigger. I'm with you on that, man. EPW is I mean, if I was wrestling, EPW would be the place I'd be shooting to be at right now. If I wanted to be around local, dude, I just love their product. And here's the thing. You just said you thought you'd be there for one night and gone, but they kept you around. I feel like they have a really good eye for talent. That's the thing about being a booker and running a company, especially you got a TV product you're putting out. I feel like sometimes they see the things in certain talent that other people don't see, and then they capitalize on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel totally like see that.
Because they have some they have some talent that you, right off hands, you wouldn't think that they'd be here. But once you see them and once you see them in the ring and they present them to you, you realize, man, this is some good talent right here. They're Absolutely. Right where they should be, man. But look, EOG, dude, these are two young guys, Tyrell Miller and JT Williams, super talented guys. They actually had a few words. You want to check it out?
Let's go for it.
It's your boy Ty Too Smooth and the prodigy JT Williams. Hey, we are the upcoming superstars of the what? Mid-South area. And next Sunday, we got YWA against Steel Cross. How we feel about it? How we feel about Steel Cross? Yeah. We give Steel Cross massive respect. Exactly. We give Steel Cross they flowers. Because just like Steel Cross, they started from the bottom, made their way to the top. That's what we doing right now. Trying to make our way to the top. And we sorry that we have to go through Steel Cross and do it. So next Sunday, April 14th, at Henderson County High School, EOG versus Steel Cross, a banger match. EOG versus Steel Cross, we coming out victorious. EOG versus Steel Cross. They just don't know we standing on straight biz. And just know y'all gonna understand what EOG stands for.
Kid, dude, that right there to me says YWA. Those guys right there, that type of talent. That's what it's about for you guys. I feel like these young, up-and-coming, hungry lions out there. Hey, both of those guys are talented as hell. They're super talented. That's going to be one hell of a match. Steel Cross, obviously they got the experience. Obviously they're brothers. They've been together their whole life. They know each other inside and out. But, man, you got two guys right there in EOG that are hungry. Talk to me
Yeah.
about this matchup, man.
Well, it's kind of like, personally, I don't know which one would have the advantage. You got the mindset of Steel Cross that they've been there and they've done that, and they're still in their damn prime. But then you have EOG, who, they're going to have the goddess of luck on their side because their nerves are probably going to be shot going up against Steel Cross. They know what they're going to be in for. I mean, these aren't two tag teams that haven't faced off anywhere else. They've
Right.
definitely met, so they know what each other has in store. So one team's going to be trying to outdo the other team, and I expect an absolute barn burner from them. I mean, like you said, Ty and JT, they've been with us for a while. I mean, they were coming to Bethel Springs and running with us a lot. And Steel
Right.
Cross, I mean, they've been a staple to us as well. All four of these guys have been staples to us. So I'm definitely expecting it to blow the roof off of the place.
Yeah, it's
And,
gonna be a
and great
banger, dude.
promo too from both of them. I've never heard a promo from JT Williams, and I was like blown away that JT both of them cut such a great promo. I thought it was awesome.
Right. Ty's been he's been on his way for a couple years now, at least a good year and a half or so.
Right.
He's been kind of head shoulders above some of his peers. JT, man, JT has really come on over the past
Yes,
year, man. JT is filled out. JT's going to be a good sized young man
I believe so.
when he gets through growing. He's look, for as young as he is, he's already getting a lot of experience, and he's really good in the wrestling ring, man. He's really good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I remember seeing him work a dark match in Trenton one night, and just the vets, uh, and I think a veteran valet at the time, but just was blown away by him and really congratulated him on a good match. Like she didn't know that he was really that good. So I see JT Williams doing great in the business, and I remember how, and I'm not comparing the two, but I remember how blown away I was in Bethel Springs seeing Zay Washington at age 13 absolutely
Right.
just become a part of that wrestling ring all over that thing and blow me away at age 13. And so whenever I see a young guy in there, I always immediately think out of habit that could be the next Zay Washington.
Right.
I'm not comparing you, JT. I'm not comparing you to Zay. Good God, I
Hey,
don't need that text message, but
hey,
you know what I mean.
that's a hell of a compliment, though, dude. I mean, that's a hell of a compliment. Well, look,
Yeah.
man, I see Robert Murray's on the card there. You got any idea who Robert Murray's going to be facing? I kind of feel
Uh,
like I might, just as a guess, man.
what's your
But if
guess,
you,
good sir?
I feel like Robert Murray is going to face off.
You broke up for a second. What'd you say?
I said I feel like it's going to be Robert Murray taking on Brandon Savage.
Ooh, maybe you need to come to the show, Buster.
There you go, man. That's just that's the booker in me, man. When I'm looking at this card, man, that's the booker coming out, dude. So talk to me about some of these other talents. We'll save Coco and DJ Fury for last since the title's on the line. But talk to me about some of these other guys, because the other three guys there I'm not familiar with hardly at all. So fill us in on these guys, who they are and what they're about, man.
I got you. You know how I was telling you about the two kids that moved here from California in the backyard days, right?
Right.
One of them, who actually introduced me to Austin Carrier, was also in the graduating class with Max Mayhem up at the
Ah,
top, who is hailing from Henderson, Tennessee. So we got a hometown boy in
that's
Max
always
Mayhem.
good.
Yeah. And Max has been doing it, I think, for maybe a year or two longer than me. I mean, he's really been around and a super humble guy, super easy to do business with. He's willing to do anything, within his means.
Right.
And I think he always gives it his all. I mean, he's done a lot for YWA when he was in the area, and so it's great to have him back on the show. And then up at the top left, you have Skittles, who knows Max Mayhem very well. No, I'm not spoiling anything. You're going to have to figure it out. But Skittles knows Max Mayhem very well. And they wrestled, I think it was SPWA, I'm pretty sure. A lot of promotions to remember in this area. But
Right.
Skittles was actually also one of the originals that I met in Bethel Springs. We actually trained together. He was breaking in as soon as I was breaking in, and he broke in
Ah,
a little bit quicker than I did, which luckily for him just so happened to be right before they shut the doors on that promotion. So he's got that advantage on me, but we also know each other very well because when I went to Adamsville during the pandemic for that backyard show, Skittles was there. And an
got some
interesting
history.
enough fact, and yeah, and an interesting enough fact, we have yet to meet in the ring against each other. Out of like the 8 or 9 years we've known each other from, I mean, literally day one of training to the pandemic to now, we have not met in the ring. So
So do I
we let
fantasy
them know.
book this match too?
Go ahead and fantasy book. I mean,
I mean, is that? I feel like it's gonna be you and Skittles, man. Y'all got all this history. You never been in the ring together. Timing, fate, perfect
yeah.
time, maybe.
I mean, if that's what the people want, they're gonna have to speak up. But you also have a sinister minister, August Givens, who was also in Adamsville. So, of course, very close connection with myself and Skittles. Not trying to separate the classes between all these fantastic wrestlers or anything. It's just that's my history that I have with them.
Right.
And August Givens has been off. Skittles has been off for exactly like the same amount of time as YWA has been gone. So it's not just like a rebirth for the promotion or myself, but it's also a rebirth for August Givens and Skittles. And so we're coming in hot, and we got something more to prove this time, and a totally different formula that's still true to the original promotions formula, the same vision, the same hard ass working guys that will lay it down for you, and just a no bullshit attitude, ready to get at it. A lot of talent on this card that I'm very proud of, and very excited to be sharing the locker room with all these gentlemen yet again.
Right. Right. Well, look, talk to me about Robert Murray for a second. We mentioned, I believe, him and Brandon Savage is the match. So talk to me about this guy, man. I like Robert Murray, man. He's one of these guys out here too that has got a lot of talent in the wrestling ring, man. He's
Yeah,
really talented, dude. So what's your thoughts on him?
I have known him for quite a while. I met him in Humboldt, Tennessee, and he is very talented. I really think he's a trailblazer. And used to in the past, I used to think we had some heat, but we kind of squashed that and laughed it off. But he's a really cool dude and
Right.
very talented, and he can just. It seems like every angle, every obstacle that he's given, he handles exactly how he wants to handle it. If
Right.
that makes any sense. It's like he doesn't swing outside of his character. He doesn't bend or break for any damn body. Like he is what he is, and you're going to take him at face value as soon as he comes out of that curtain, and he's going to put on one hell of a show for you because that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, man, he's hungry, dude. And actually, my daughter and his daughter go to school together, so I see Robert sometimes every day for a while when we're picking the kids up.
Yeah,
Uh, he is confident in his ability and his persona, who he is. When he comes out of that curtain, you believe who he is because he believes who he is.
exactly.
Is how I feel about it, you know.
That's what I tell young guys a lot too, and they could learn a lot from him in that sense. When I tell younger guys or anybody that breaks into the business, when I say they paid to see you, trying to calm their nerves a little bit, I'm not saying they know your name or they give a damn about you. I'm saying the people that are sitting in the seats want to see characters that are
Right,
100% in character because they want to interact with those characters. They want to see wrestlers that are 100% sold on this is who I am. And this is what I do kind of thing. So,
right. To me, here's the thing. I love great wrestling matches, but I mean, when you boil it down to brass tacks, it's the personalities that draw you to these people. It's who they are. It's who they.
yes.
It's their personalities. I don't go to wrestling because I'm going to see a 5-star match. I go to wrestling because I want to see so and so take on so and so for whatever reason. You know, it's to me, it's the personalities, and that's one thing I think Robert Murray, man, does have in spades. When look, I was always told if you don't believe in who you are, there's no way you're going to convince them fans to believe in who you are.
Yeah,
It's as simple as that. When you walk through that curtain, you have to believe in who you are right then at that moment if you expect anybody out in the audience to buy.
yeah, they can smell it. Believe me, I've been there. You know, there was a lot of nights where I was just wearing yellow. I wasn't CcK, and they can smell that. And that's a very strange thing.
Sean Hardy, man, I got to see some of this Sean Hardy shit just to see Sean Hardy be announced, dude.
No, the fuck you don't, Buster. Nobody needs to see Sean Hardy.
Dude, look. Let me tell you something. We all got that shit. We all got them matches which would just fucking disappear, man.
Yeah, it's like who the fuck posted that? Nobody needs to see that. Good Lord.
Hey, you be so mad. You be like, I'm about to kick that motherfucker's ass when I see him, man. Why ain't bring that shit up?
Yeah.
So look, Brandon Savage, Justin Klein, man, they're kind of new to YWA, right?
Yeah, this would actually be their debut. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Talk to me about these two guys because, man, heat magnets.
Yeah, they are heat magnets. I mean, we've actually been in talks with bringing them in for quite some time, even before we shut down over a year ago. Me and Justin were talking because, you know, he does all the business for Brandon. And so we were talking, and he was super excited to come in and show what Brandon can do for YWA because, I mean, there are a lot of wrestlers in YWA that don't wrestle anywhere else by choice.
Right.
So, you know, talented ones like Skittles and August Givens and he and Luke Boswell, he wanted to see what Brandon could do against people on the YWA roster that aren't wrestling anywhere else. I mean, they have accolades in themselves. Luke Boswell won the King of the Canvas tournament, and August Givens made it to the finals of that tournament. And right before we became YWA, Skittles was a previous world heavyweight champion of the promotion before it became YWA. Okay. So we've tried to carry that over. And so I believe there's a lot of things that Brandon Savage could get his hands on here. And there's going to be a lot of things that Justin Klein could be running his mouth about here, just like he does everywhere else. I mean, we got some trailblazers here. You know, they go anywhere, they go everywhere, and they piss off everyone. 100%.
Everybody. But I will tell you this. Justin Klein, man, even on social media, he entertains the shit out of me, dude.
Oh, there's nobody like him. There's nobody like him.
There ain't nobody safe either, man. He will fucking if you ain't part of the frat row or one of those, if you ain't Jason Genesis or Trace Hunt, part of the frat row, man, ain't nobody off limits. But man, he be entertaining the shit out of me with some of his bullshit, man.
100%. I'll see some wrestling drama that'll put me in a bad mood, and then I'll scroll down and I'll see some Porky Pig Klein shit that'll make me laugh, and I'll see whatever he's posting in regards to that, and
right.
I think that Justin Klein's social media presence should be observed by everyone in developmental of a promotion. I mean, that the self-promoting that Justin Klein can do is just, it's unparalleled with anybody else. And he can self-promote himself very, very well.
Here's the thing. It goes back to being who you're supposed to be, believing who you are. Look, I've had several interactions with Justin on camera through the podcast, off camera through Messenger or whatever. He is who the fuck you see right there. He is pretty much the dude that you see on TV. He's a prick. Yeah. I mean, it's just simple as that, dude. But That's why he gets the heat he does, though, man, because when you see him, you believe him. There's no denying that you don't like this motherfucker, man.
1,000%.
So look, that carries us, man. We see the belt right in the middle, man. It carries us to DJ Fury and the knockout king, Coco Anderson. So talk to me about making this match, man. Talk to me about these guys' history or whatever, because I know Coco's been a part, both these guys been a part of YWA before this.
Absolutely.
So talk to me about these guys in this matchup, man.
Well, it all started with the King of the Canvas tournament, and me being the guy that Coco put out of that tournament in the semifinals, and August Givens being the guy that DJ got one over to put August Givens out of the semifinals in that same tournament. And at that time, because of what we talked about previously, we had that vacated title for that same controversial reason. So the King of the Canvas tournament, which I designed and patented, so I dare you to try to use it, but it did not always crown the champion. This is the first time it's ever crowned the champion because it's vacated. So instead of just getting the label of King of the Canvas, you're also becoming the YWA champion. And that's why this one's going to be different than any other design. Instead of separating the two, it's like, no, if you're the King of the Canvas, you also should be the champion. It's like you're going to be the top guy. And
right.
I mean, we got a little, not to be cliche, but we got a little bit of David and Goliath going on here. But here's the thing. DJ is such a humble guy and so talented. Like, he should be charging a rate that I cannot afford. And I don't think
here's the thing.
I don't think he realizes that.
Just as bad as people hate Justin Klein, people love DJ Fury because he's real.
Yep.
That's who you see is who you get. I love that dude, man. He's been on the podcast a few times. I want to say he co-hosted with me one time. Always love any interaction I have with Jay, and you're right, David and Goliath, man. You see Coco up there looking like a big ass grizzly bear, man. Like, and he just
I wasn't going to say it.
DJ.
I wasn't going to say it. He can come after you, but yeah, and DJ, like, you know, people will look at the size or whatever, and anyone from looking outside in doesn't realize, like, he's had to deal with that same size disadvantage since day one.
Right.
And I don't think Coco's going to, what's the word? He's not going to underestimate him. I mean, surely Coco knows what DJ is capable of.
Right.
But DJ is well-versed, probably the most well-versed small guy in the territory in taking down big guys, because that's all he's had to damn do longer than I've been in the business. I mean, we're talking about over a decade. Absolutely quick. He damn near busted my eye socket one time in AEW. I mean, I know how quick and how hard his hits are.
Well, that's
because
what I was
they have
gonna
to
say.
be.
He's explosive too. A lot of people, I feel like, when they look at him and get in the ring with him, they underestimate him immediately until he hits your ass with anything.
Yeah.
Could be anything. Drop kick, it don't matter. He's fast as lightning, but he's also really explosive, man. And I think that's what sets him apart from other guys who are small and they're mainly quick. He's got some power in that body, dude.
Yeah, he connects with one of them kicks, whether it's a Pele kick or an enziguri or scissor kick, and he gets you in the right spot on your head. Good luck finding him after that, because by the time you got your wits about you, he's on the top rope and he's fixing to come down on you.
Right. And Coco, man, obviously Coco's got the experience in this. Coco's got the size. It's going to be an uphill battle for DJ. There ain't no doubt about that, man. You know, you want to do some predictions for this match?
Well, I mean, you sound like you got one in mind, sir.
Dude, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like Coco's going to take this one. Look, I love DJ and he knows that, but I feel like this is something, it's an opportunity for Coco to become the man. You know, and I feel like that's something he's really still chasing. Look, he's a top. Him and Big Mike Jablonski, Bad Omen, one of the biggest, baddest tag teams around. But I feel like there's a little bit of inside Coco that wants to be the singles guy, and I feel like this is the opportunity, and I just feel like he's gonna seize it Sunday, man.
It may be. I mean, you know, both of them are poised to go after that championship because both of them know what it means because both of them know the YWA. Like you said, they've both been here damn near since day one.
Right.
So they both know what it means to carry this company as the man, especially like especially in a company where there's so many young guys coming in and there's very few veterans that are willing to come in. And you have Coco, who is the veteran, against DJ, who may be seasoned, but he's not that seasoned. He's just well experienced and again in his prime.
Right.
So it's going to be an exciting match. I mean, that's what makes wrestling exciting, is because there can be David versus Goliath matches, and you can root for David. I don't know, man. I've been in the ring with DJ a lot. I think he might have this one. If he catches Coco just one time, be it a good kick, be it a ring post, be it a slip up by Coco, I think it could be done.
Yeah, I mean, I fully see that. I don't underestimate DJ at all. I've seen him in the ring with against guys actually bigger than Coco, and DJ always holds his own and represents himself awesomely, man. He does. Hell of a matchup though. This whole card, dude, the whole thing here, the talent, gonna be a big day for y'all, dude. The return, Henderson, Tennessee, the Chester County Middle School Gym. Look, I'm going to pull this graphic down, dude, but when I do, tell everybody bell times, ticket prices, everything they need to know, dude.
All right. Like Buster just said, Henderson, Tennessee, Chester County Middle School Gymnasium. We are going to open the door at 5:30 and just 30 minutes after that, so we're not wasting a bunch of your time. You're not having to sit down for a very long time. We're going to start the bell time at 6 p.m. The show opener the show is going to be opened by none other than one of my favorite commentators from EPW as well, Joey Gross.
Oh, I like
so he will be there to lead the opening of it. He's very excited for that. And ticket prices are just $10. We tried to hang at $5 for as long as we could, but the price of every damn thing has gone up, so we had to go up too. But $10, right. And we're going to bust our asses to give you your money's worth. That's one thing I can promise you. Everybody on that card is going to bust their ass to give you your money's worth. And kids, 12 years old and under, they'll get in for absolutely free.
I like that.
Well, because every single show I try to tell people, and I have the mentality myself, it's some kid's first wrestling show out there.
Right.
And we all remember our first live wrestling show. So as long as you keep that in mind, you're gonna inspire some kid there to someday be a wrestler. But yeah, 12 years and under, they'll get in for absolutely free. So kids, bug your parents for me.
There you go. Listen to me, dude. That right there, what you just did, that right there is what's going to make it happen for you. You're real. I like that. You're real from the gut, man, and I can feel that coming off of you. The things you say, the way you look at this shit, that's it, dude. That right there, man, that right there is what's going to help y'all succeed, man. Here's the thing. Too many companies go out here and sell people a bill of goods or sell them hype, and then they come to the show and they underdeliver. I feel like you guys, you're going to go out there, you're going to give them 100%, every single guy. I feel like all you guys have something to prove, man. And I feel like real knows real. And that guy right there, you're a hell of a spokesman, dude. Right there, man. You're the best marketer. You're the best dude to sell your company because you just sold the hell out of me, man.
Well, thank you, brother. It means the world coming from you. Absolutely.
Dude, this has been a blast for me, dude. I'm going to have to get you back on sometime, man. I feel like we could talk about wrestling forever.
Yeah, same here.
Dude, I've really enjoyed it, man. Like I said, I've wanted you on. Here's the thing. We go back to timing and fate. I'm not really big on just cold contacting people that I don't really have no kind of connection with. But sometimes I do. And But something always prompts me to that. Something pushes me that way, dude. And me and you've had a couple of conversations on Messenger, going back months, and I just felt like, man, if I'm ever going to get him, now's the time. And boom, here we are. We did it, dude. Awesome show. One of my favorites. That even no bullshit. I tend to say that a lot, but you have been one of my absolute favorite guests, period, that I've had, man. I feel like me and you click. I feel like we really click good chemistry. And man, I wish y'all all, I hope y'all sell the fucking house out Sunday, dude.
Well, thank you, Buster. It's been a great pleasure. And I could totally talk wrestling with you anytime you want me to.
Y'all will definitely do this again, man. I had a blast. CcK, dude, you and your family have a great night, a great weekend. And like I said, blow the fucking roof off Sunday, my man.
Thank you, sir. Y'all too.
Take it easy.
Peace.
All right, guys, you seen it right there. The Car Crash Kid. Henderson, Tennessee. Chester County Middle School Gym. Sunday. Go check this company out. Go support this company. These guys are going to go out there and they're going to bust their ass for y'all. If you want good wrestling, you want to see guys in the ring, hungry, going at it, this is the place to be. Do not miss it. Go check them out. Guys, been a marathon week, y'all. I'm actually glad it's over. I'll be in Campbell, Missouri tomorrow night for AHCW. I got to go there and do some commentating. And then we'll be back next week with Eric Hayes is kicking off. Buster Unmasked, 7 p.m. Do not miss it, guys. Y'all take it easy.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness, hilarious. You think you're with my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior, inferior. You know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.